In a small village named Madhupur, surrounded by green fields and whispering winds, lived a poor farmer named Raju, a man whose hands carried both the soil and the struggle of life. Every sunrise brought new hope, and every sunset took away another dream. Raju worked day and night in the fields, his sweat mixing with the dust, his heart beating only for his small family. Inside their little mud house, his wife cooked on a clay stove, and his young son Kabir sat beside a flickering kerosene lamp, reading an old, torn book, eyes full of dreams. Kabir wasn't like other children. He didn't dream of toys or sweets. He dreamed of saving lives. Every time he saw the village doctor treat a sick child, his heart whispered, "One day, I'll be like him. I'll heal people, but dreams are expensive, especially for those who can barely afford a meal." Kabir walked barefoot to school, wearing a uniform stitched a dozen times, but his spirit was untouched. When his classmates laughed at his torn clothes, Kabir smiled and said, "My clothes may be torn, but my dreams are not." At night, under the dim yellow light, he studied for hours, while the world around him slept in silence. Raju often looked at him and sighed, "Son, becoming a doctor costs a lot. We are poor people." Kabir smiled gently. "Baba, you taught me never to fear hard work. Let me work hard for my dream too." Raju's eyes filled with tears, half from pride, half from pain. But life had more tests to give. The rains failed that year. The crops died. The land cracked open like the heart of a farmer. Food became scarce, money disappeared, and hope began to fade. One night, Kabir overheard his parents whisper, "We can't afford his books next year." He closed his eyes and made a silent promise. "No matter how hard it gets, I will not give up." Next morning, he walked to the nearby town and found a small job at a tea stall. He cleaned tables, washed glasses, served tea, all day long. But during his breaks, he didn't rest. He opened his books and read. The tea stall owner, an old man named Shyam, asked him, "Why do you study so much, boy?" Kabir replied with a quiet smile, "Because education is my only way out." Kabir studied by night, worked by day, and carried his dream on his shoulders like a flame that refused to die. And finally, his hard work paid off. He topped his school. The entire village celebrated his results, but there was still one mountain left to climb: the cost of medical college. Kabir applied for a government scholarship. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Every evening, he waited by the road, hoping the postman would bring him a miracle. And one afternoon, the miracle arrived. Kabir tore open the envelope with shaking hands. He read it once, twice, and tears filled his eyes. He ran home shouting, "Baba, I got it! I got the scholarship!" Raju dropped his sickle, ran to his son and hugged him tightly. "You did it, my son." That night, the whole village lit lamps in celebration. Madhupur had found its light. Kabir left for the city. The roads were new, the buildings tall, and life far from easy. He lived in a small hostel room, studied late nights, skipped meals to save money, and fought loneliness with determination. Sometimes he broke down. Sometimes he wanted to quit. But then he remembered his father, working in the burning fields, believing in him, and that memory gave him strength. Years passed, and one morning, Kabir wore a white coat for the first time. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he whispered, "This isn't just a coat. It's my father's sweat, my mother's prayers, and my childhood dream." After years of struggle, Dr. Kabir Raju returned to his village, not as the poor tea boy from yesterday, but as a doctor of tomorrow. The people of Madhupur gathered to welcome him. Some cried, some folded hands, all filled with pride. But Kabir didn't build a big hospital. He opened a small free clinic for the poor, the helpless, the forgotten. He treated every patient with kindness. He spoke gently. He smiled often. And one day, an old farmer walked in. Raju. Kabir took his father's hand and said softly, "How are you feeling, Baba?" Raju smiled with trembling lips. "I'm feeling proud." Kabir held his father's rough hands and whispered, "You planted the seed of this dream, Baba. I only watered it." From that day, the people of Madhupur told a new story, not of poverty, but of perseverance. Whenever a child said, "I want to be something big," their parents replied, "Be like Kabir." Because Kabir proved one thing: you don't need money to dream big. You need courage to keep going. You don't need luck to rise. You need faith to never fall. And you don't need to be born rich. You just need to be born determined. No matter how dark your nights are, remember, the light you're searching for is already within you, just like Kabir, the boy from Madhupur, who turned struggle into strength and dreams into destiny.